Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share with you what I've been watching in August based on my Letterboxd account. And again, if you're not following me on Letterboxd, there's a link in the channel description, I believe, and also in the description of this video. So feel free to follow me on Letterboxd. It's a site that I really love and I really keep track of everything that I'm watching there. And I don't really go usually by a watch pile. I know some viewers go with a watch pile of things that they're watching. I'm pretty much a mood watcher, and I will sometimes change my mind at the last minute of things I'm watching or that I'm interested in. But I'm gonna try to do this every month if I can, to talk about what I've been watching based on that list. And it's, very accurate because I'm keeping track of things as I go. And the first thing I watched August 1st was Halloween, which I'm going to show. Halloween 1978 here. This is the Scream Factory edition of Halloween, the 4K Blu-ray edition of it. This is a beautiful release. I should say too, some of the things I'm going to talk about today I don't have the physical media for because I watched it on streaming. I do watch some things on streaming. I have the Criterion channel, I have Amazon Prime, I have other streaming services that I'll mention as we go through this. But this is brilliant. I've seen this so many times, and it's something that I watch usually around this time of year. I watched it particularly early this year on the 1st of August, but Halloween 1978, love that. The next film is a film from 1976 with Gene Wilder, and it's Silver Streak, 1976. This is a movie that my wife and I really enjoy. It's directed by Arthur Hiller, and it also has, I'm just looking to see to the cast, a little bit more of the cast, Jill Clayburgh, Richard Pryor, Patrick McGowan, Ned Beatty, so many others, and we really enjoy it. We watch it all the time. I think partly the reason I like it is because of the music. So Silver Streak, 1976. Again, I don't have physical media. I do have a digital copy of Silver Streak that we watch all the time. That's one too that would be great to have an affordable release of that, either on DVD or Blu-ray, and maybe there is one. So let me know in the comments below if you know of one. I would love to pick up a copy of that. The next one we watched, again, I don't have the physical media for, which I saw on, I believe, Amazon Prime, and that is Good Time by the Safdie brothers. And this is, just looking at the cast, Robert Pattinson, Benny Safdie's in it, lots of other folks in it too. I liked the movie. For whatever reason, I decided to give it a try because I know they did Uncut Gems, and so I wanted to see this one. People had mentioned this one to me a long time. I liked the movie, although it was very anxiety producing for me. So I don't know that I'll be watching that movie again. But I did enjoy it. It didn't really give me a break through the whole movie. I felt like I was just on the edge of my seat. Maybe that was the intention of the film, but I felt very anxious watching the movie, which maybe that's a normal reaction to that particular film. The next one I just ordered a physical media copy of, and that would be Singles from 1992. And that is a movie. I was watching a lot of 90s movies. This is a film directed by Cameron Crowe, starring Matt Dillon, many others. Again, just looking at the, just referring to the cast list here. Bridget Fonda, who is really great. Kira Sedgwick, Matt Dillon, as I mentioned, Campbell Scott. I really enjoyed this. I was watching, it's a very similar vibe to something like Reality Bites, if you're familiar with that movie. But I found myself watching, at least in August, a lot of films from the 90s, and so this was one of them that I really enjoyed. I just ordered the physical media copy of it. Many times I'll preview movies on streaming services, and it's one of the reasons I love streaming services, and then we'll pick up the physical media copy if I feel like I'm going to watch it over and over again, and that is one that I definitely would like to watch again. The next one is one that I just got the physical media for this one, and I saw it on streaming to begin with, but because I think it came on Peacock. But this is one of my favorite movies of the entire year, Asteroid City. I really enjoyed it. I love Wes Anderson, and I wasn't sure. I figured I probably would like this movie, and I was absolutely right. I really did love it. I love the cinematography, the art direction, everything about the movie is really great. This happens to be my favorite format, which is Blu-ray, DVD, digital. Love this movie. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen Asteroid City and what you think of it. I just thought it was, again, very stylized, which is something that Wes Anderson does really well. But I love the story, I love the dialogue, love the script. There's so many things I loved about it, and I feel like many of the scenes I could just watch as an art piece, as a work of art. I feel like you could just freeze the frame and just look at it from, in those terms. I love all those details. So Asteroid City, one of my favorite films from the year. The next one I've talked about in a video before, but I thought I would mention it here again, and that is, this is from an imprint box set, and it is now one of my favorite films of Gene Hackman's, and that is I Never Sang for My Father. This is a very serious movie basically about a man's relationship with his father, and you know, again, some level of family dynamics here too. But I really love this movie. Melvin Douglas also is amazing in the film. I talked about it in another video, but this is part of a box set, a Gene Hackman set from Imprint, which again is one of my favorite labels, and there's the back of that one. No extra features on this one, but if you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. Again, it's very dramatic, very emotional, but I had been waiting many, many years to see the movie. I had heard a lot of good things about it and decided to give it a watch, and it was really, really amazing. So highly recommend it. It's emotional, again, if that's, you know, something maybe that you're not interested in, but I really enjoyed it. Next up, some content from the Criterion channel. I was interested in some movies. I think I just kind of stumbled on this movie a little bit to give it a try, and it's a movie called Person to Person, directed by Dustin Guy Defa, and it's from 2017. Stars Michael Cera, Abby Jacobson, Philip Baker Hall, who I think is really good, and many, many others. Really enjoyed this movie. It follows a variety, I'm just looking at the description here on Letterboxd too, follows a variety of New York characters as they navigate personal relationships and unexpected problems over the course of one day. And I really enjoyed it. And you know, the Criterion channel does a great job of doing features on specific directors or artists, and this is one case where I think you can still see this. It's the last day of August, but I feel like this might still be on there, but they're doing a profile for the director, and so I started watching a lot of the short films. So there's a few short films that I watched. God is an Artist. These are all shorter films, maybe less than 15 minutes, so you can get an idea of what this director does. And another movie called Editing from 2021, which I really enjoyed. You know, very creative short films. I really enjoyed the longer features. And I'm excited about this director's new movie coming out this year called The Adults, which also stars Michael Cera. There's some previews out as well. So many times I'll find something on the Criterion channel and really get interested in it. And it's a good place, for me anyway, to preview movies. And this is one case where I just got into this director completely and started watching all the short films and as many of the longer form films as I could. And this particular director doesn't have a lot of long form films, but Person to Person, I didn't see a physical media copy of that movie, but maybe there will be one at some point. Sometimes, at least these days, we're not getting physical media for every single film that comes out, but this is one that I really enjoyed. Next up, classic, which I decided to watch, and I didn't even realize that it's a true story that happened in August, not of this year, but of years past, and that is Dog Day Afternoon, which is a great movie to watch during the summer. Classic performances from Al Pacino and John Cazale, or Cazale if you pronounce it that way. Directed by Sidney Lumet, one of my absolute favorite directors. I picked up this release too, and I had this release from years past. I've seen this movie before. Because of the documentary, I Knew It Was You, Rediscovering John Cazale, and I really enjoyed that as well. Now, John Cazale passed away quite early in life, but he was in so many amazing films: The Godfather 1 and 2, The Deer Hunter, Dog Day Afternoon, and one other one that I'm forgetting right now. But it's an amazing documentary if you haven't seen that before. But Dog Day Afternoon is such a classic, such an amazing performance from Al Pacino and all the others, and brilliantly directed by Sidney Lumet. So I was happy to see this one in August. I really, really enjoyed it. So that's Dog Day Afternoon. Next up, I decided to watch, I'm a big fan of the, well actually, I'll do this one first. For some reason, these are also films I believe from the 90s, but for some reason I was interested in this. I had seen these movies before, movies from Wayne Wang and Paul Astor, and I actually watched the second one first. These are two films from that creative pair. Blue in the Face, which stars so many people here, as you can see. Giancarlo Esposito's in this, if you remember from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. So that's pretty amazing. Michael J. Fox has an appearance in this movie. Jim Jarmusch, Harvey Keitel, Lou Reed is amazing. Roseanne, Mira Sorvino, Lily Tomlin has an amazing role in this movie, but I really enjoyed this. This is basically outtakes from another film that I'll show from 1995, which is much more serious, and that would be Smoke. And this stars Harvey Keitel. William Hurt is amazing in it. Stockard Channing, Ashley Judd, and Forrest Whitaker. This is a really great film. This one is much more dramatic than Blue in the Face. And Blue in the Face is basically just other scenes that I believe that were filmed during the filming of Smoke. But this film is very, very serious. And again, more about the, well, you can see sort of at the, on the back here. 5 strangers, 4 secrets, 3 schemes, 2 best friends, and 1 neighborhood hangout where the world still makes sense. So Harvey Keitel basically runs a smoke shop in Brooklyn, and there's lots of things that happen related to that. But I really, really enjoyed this movie, and also Blue in the Face too. But again, Blue in the Face has a different vibe to it, a little bit more of a comedy and other scenes that get combined, but they're still around the same smoke shop there too. This one has, which I did watch, extra features also. This has an extended conversation with Lou Reed, which I love listening to Lou Reed talk about various things. And then it's got a commentary as well. So those 2 movies, and again, they're directed by Wayne Wang and Paul Astor. So really enjoyed those movies. And Smoke was a little bit further up. I had to wait for that to come in because once I saw Blue in the Face, I decided to order Smoke, which again, I'd seen those movies before. I didn't have them on physical media, but I knew I was going to enjoy them. Let's see. Next, we have. I've always been interested in the films of Hal Hartley, and Hal Hartley is a director who had a sale, I think, on his website probably over a year ago, and I picked this up, and I hadn't had a chance to see it, although I've seen these movies before. And that is the Long Island Trilogy. And this is really a beautifully put together box set with the Long Island Trilogy, The Unbelievable Truth, Trust, and Simple Men. And there's the back of that. These were, at the time, newly restored. There are some extra features on here. I'll just open this up a little bit so you can take a look at it. Love these movies. They almost seem like plays, too. Very well written, interesting to watch, interesting dialogue. And just really well done. And I just remember them from the 90s. This kind of goes back to my interest in 90s movies. I love the photography on the inside of these. But this is a great trilogy if you have a chance to see it. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoy Hal Hartley movies. I was looking, I think, on social media too, and it seemed like there were some additional screenings of these movies happening, I think in New York City, but I could be wrong on that. But I really like this. So I watched a lot of those. I think I watched Trust first, or no, I watched Unbelievable Truth first and then Trust. I think I like Trust a lot more than Unbelievable Truth, but Unbelievable Truth is great as well. That's that one. And next up, I took a chance on, I think, Amazon Prime, and my wife and I watched Bodies, Bodies, Bodies from 2022, which sometimes I'll take a chance and watch a film that is newer. And this one we happened to be in the mood for, and we really enjoyed it. Really thought it was great. Very suspenseful, great cast. It's kind of a mystery movie, sort of a horror movie as well. But we really enjoyed it. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. We really liked it a lot. Coming up here to the end, or closer to the end of the month, I saw this amazing documentary on the Criterion Channel called Turn Every Page, The Adventures of Robert Caro and Robert Gottlieb, and it's basically about Robert Caro, the author, who wrote, among other things, a whole volumes of books on LBJ, the president, and it's taken him so long. I think it took him, he said in the documentary, maybe 5 to 7 years per book to write those, and his ongoing work with his editor, Robert Gottlieb. So if you have the Criterion Channel, I definitely recommend that. Criterion does a lot of premieres of movies and documentaries, and this is one that I wish there was physical media for. I don't think there is any physical media for it. But there's a trailer out there on YouTube. This is a film also from 2022. I really enjoyed it a lot. I love all these interviews. I love documentaries too. So let me know also in the comments below if you have a favorite documentary that you've seen recently that you could recommend. I love getting recommendations and suggestions in the comments section below. And that's also too, as I mentioned before, please feel free to follow me on Letterboxd. I will follow you back for sure. I love seeing what everyone is watching, and because I'm always discovering new things, and that's the one great part of watching movies, collecting movies. is to see recommendations from others, and sometimes I find some hidden gems. And this is certainly one of those. Turn Every Page, The Adventures of Robert Caro and Robert Gottlieb. And finally, I've been doing a series of live videos with my good friend Stephanie over at Movie Chatter, and we're preparing for our latest live video. We're going to do some, what we're calling Hitchcock for Halloween, or Hitchcock Halloween. And so I'm going to be watching and talking about Psycho, which I've seen many times. But along with that, we're also going to be talking about this wonderful documentary, which I just rewatched the other night, which, if you love documentaries and you love Hitchcock, I highly recommend this one. I had seen it before, and I was lucky enough again to pick it up on physical media just recently. And this is 7852, Hitchcock's shower scene. But if you're new to Hitchcock, you're unfamiliar with Psycho or any of those things, this is amazing. Even if you're a Hitchcock expert, I feel like this is a great film to watch. And so many great interviews with Jamie Lee Curtis, Guillermo del Toro, Peter Bogdanovich, Danny Elfman, Bret Easton Ellis, Mick Garris, Neil Marshall, Elijah Wood, Oz Perkins. There are so many amazing insights about Hitchcock and about the movie Psycho from this movie. Again, highly recommended. This is one I could watch over and over again. 7852. There's the back of that one. This has some extra interviews that I haven't had a chance to see, but I feel like a lot of times with extra features, I'll leave the extra features to the next watch, so I can get something new out of it. But this one I highly recommend. We're going to be talking about Psycho and this movie this Saturday at 2 o'clock. If you're interested, we're doing these live videos on Saturday. And so please feel free to join us if you have some time with that. So that is what I watched. I watched quite a few things. Again, I don't usually work with a watch list. Since I'm more of a mood watcher, I'll pick up something or look for something at night to watch. I'm watching also lots of TV shows. I watch other things with my wife as well. One of the things I've been watching that's not on my Letterboxd, but I really love and have been really enjoying, is the detective series from the 1970s called Barnaby Jones. This is the first season, but this is all on Amazon Prime, and I've been watching that. I've been thinking about maybe picking up the whole series because I'm sure I saw many of these, but certainly season 1 is out there if you want to take a look at it. I just love this. I love Buddy Ebsen, and I love everything about this particular series. I feel like with movies of the 70s as well, or it's the same as movies with the 70s, I love the music. So I'm really drawn into the music and the story, and really love this. So let me know also if you have a favorite detective series. I've watched a few of these. I'm familiar with Columbo and things like McCloud and things like that. But if you have a favorite detective series too, let me know. But I've really been getting into this. I'm done with season 1. I'm going to move on to season 2. So that's another thing that I've been watching that I can't really represent on my Letterboxd. So there's lots of other things I'm watching in the background that may not be represented, but for the most part, everything I'm watching is on Letterboxd, so feel free to follow me there. Like I mentioned, there is a link in the description below and a link as part of my channel. If you go to the About section on my channel, you'll see that. Thanks so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. I'm planning to do these hopefully monthly to talk about everything I'm watching. I am a physical media collector, but there's lots of things where there's lots of times where I'm collecting things that I may not watch for a while, and then I have a whole list of other shows and movies that I'm watching, so I thought I would share that with you today. Let me know in the comments below what you're watching. I would love to hear that. But if this is your first video, please consider subscribing to my channel. That would be awesome. I sincerely hope that everyone is safe and well, and I'll talk to you soon.